Vera spun in front of the mirror and blinked like a little fluffy kitten. Actually, she looked like a kitten. Red-haired and fluffy. All in freckles, with a snub nose and lively brown eyes, she was all glowing and a little nervous. But there was nothing strange about that. Because in 3 weeks in her life the most important day was about to happen. The day she had been waiting for 4 whole years. The most beloved person in her life will put a wedding ring on her finger and call her wife. They met Kostik at the university. She herself does not understand how it happened. Kostya was the soul of the company and the most popular young man on the student body. The girls stopped at the sight of him, rolled their eyes and quietly died, surrendering to the power of dreams and unrealizable fantasies. And he chose her. Inconspicuous, red-haired, with mischievous brown eyes and funny ballet shoes with bows, over which everyone secretly made fun of. And now she will become his wife, such a plump and smiling professor, madam. Vera giggled, and no ballet flats are a hindrance to her. True, it was a little upsetting that Kostya had recently become somewhat brooding and inattentive. But that was also understandable. He's the smartest on the course. And the topic of his diploma is complicated. It's good that the professor, Yulia Vladimirovna, went to meet him and took him under her wing. Of course, Kostya was lucky. Most likely they will leave him at the department, and there they are not far from the dissertation. Vera was so happy that she did not notice how the clouds were already slowly gathering over her fluffy red head. Kostik more and more often refused to meet, citing his busyness and a desire to finish work as soon as possible. Igoryak, her old school friend, with whom she shared all her secrets, looked at Vera in a strange way, but was silent. As if he was afraid to reveal someone else's secret. Well, Vera was happy and tenderly stroked a modest wedding dress that hung on the door of her closet. Bone, maybe in a movie? Vera asked, somehow out of habit, and looked hopefully into her cold blue eyes. No, Ver, I can't. For me, Yulia. Kostik hesitated for a moment, but quickly recovered. Well, Yulia Vladimirovna is waiting. A very important chapter. I can't do it myself. You go, I'll call. Vera was so in love that she did not notice anything and, nodding her head, went about her business. Kostik left the university and looked around. Yulia Vladimirovna's expensive car, as always, was waiting for him not far from the entrance. Kostya grunted and confidently headed in her direction. I ought, probably, to tell Vera, flashed through his head, but he dismissed this thought as empty and unnecessary. What's the difference? Then he finds out everything. And now he is in chocolate, and this is the most important thing. With Yulia, everything happens somehow by itself. Yulia Vladimirovna invited him home. Kostik agreed with pleasure. He was always flattered by the attention of a beautiful adult teacher. Kostik was a nice and handsome boy. The professor gladly gave him expensive gifts, and even promised to take him to Thailand immediately after defending his diploma. Kostik really wanted to go to Thailand and was ready to do anything for the sake of his dream. But the most unpleasant thing was that Kostya, out of his own stupidity, was about to get married, and then all his dreams would fly to pieces. And Yulia will not be with expensive gifts, and he will not dream of any Thailand even in a dream. Kostik made up his mind. He called her in the evening, sitting on Yulin's luxurious sofa and examining the expensive watch that the professor gave him just for the occasion. Don't be upset, but there won't be a wedding. You and I have no future. Your desires are simple and uninteresting, he continued sternly, but I have a future. I want to become a scientist. Well, you can't help me in this. Kostya quickly hung up the receiver and stroked his new watch again. Yulia Nikolaevna smiled and looked at him in a strange and thoughtful way. 10 years have passed. One day a courier rang at the beautiful carved door of a large cozy house. In his hands he held a huge bouquet of royal roses and a small red box with diamond earrings. There was a noise outside the door, screaming, laughter, crashing, children squealing. Then someone fell, and an imposing male figure appeared on the threshold of the swinging door. Igor, who's there? A cheerful female voice from the depths of the house seemed vaguely familiar to the courier. The figure smiled and rumbled, "Go, go, Professor Madam. We will congratulate you. Even though you are a hooligan, but to me, as a professor, very dear and beloved." That's how they met. The happy red-haired Vera and the useless courier Kostik, who, like a memory of a cruel betrayal, dangled an expensive gift watch on his wrist.